This is our weekly Q&A call where we're here to answer your questions. And heck, there's no question too big or too small. If you think about where your biggest bottleneck or challenge is in the academy right now, well, heck, either raise your hand, speak up, put it in the comments in the chat, ask away, ask away. Todd, welcome to the group. We got Kyle in here. Good to see you. Welcome to the call, I should say. Well, Tim Lucas, how is your month shaping up? What would you say is your biggest challenge right now? How can we help? Oh, we can't. You got to unmute yourself. Sorry.
There we go. How's that
Yes,
sound?
that's
That always
perfect.
works a little better that way. Uh,
Perfect.
I'd be interested to talk about what's getting our phones to ring. What's marketing is working to get that phone to ring. I guess would be my biggest challenge. But I also like Roman sent out a text about some things he was going to cover, so I was pretty excited to hear that. And
Excellent.
hey, I can go on with a couple more questions if you want me to.
Well, here, let me make a couple notes. Marketing, Roman, what else you got? If we can get to it, we will.
Well, this probably will build off of what Roman sent out, but
Mhm.
on the phone script, Jonathan, you were pretty adamant about, if a person says, "Well, I don't feel comfortable paying up front," you
Yeah.
were like, "Well, thank you for inquiring about my school, but that's just how we do it." And I kind of like, is that how you're doing it? You're not trying to, um, well, if
Okay,
you stop
well
by and pay
let's
ahead of time or
yeah,
anything.
no. Let's start right there. All right, so let's role play. Ready? We'll role play. We do this a lot with our on our Wednesday calls that we do with all the clients. We do a lot of role play so people actually not just hear what to do, but get a chance to actually practice doing it. It's kind of the same as when you're teaching martial arts. You can show a student what to do, you can tell them how to do it, but it doesn't all really click until they actually start to do the moves themselves. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's say we're on a call. We've gotten deep into it. We've scheduled your lesson. And so now that we've scheduled a lesson, I'm going to ask who do we need to add to the trial? Maybe a little brother, older sister, maybe mom. Heck, dad, what about you? And you're either going to say yes or no. Either way, I don't care. Okay, well, the next thing is we just have to take care of the trial tuition. The 20 bucks. And I'm curious, sir, did you want to do a credit card or a debit card? Which is best?
Well, wait a minute here. I didn't know I had to pay up front. I wanted to come in and see your facility first and meet you.
Oh, well, heck, we just met. It sounds like this is going to be a perfect fit based on what we just talked. Okay, now, so let me press pause real quick. The first part of the phone call is to get into rapport. And if that gets skipped or shortcutted, you will have this problem a lot. However,
Okay.
if we take our time and follow the full dialogue at the front end of the script, then we'll have already made a connection. We'll have a little thing going on already where you'll
Okay.
realize I'm on your side. You feel connected to me already. We're here to help your kid do XYZ. We've talked about why that's so important to you because emotions have to be in play. And then we scheduled the lesson, and then I asked who should we add, and then we're trying to collect the money. Now that doesn't
Okay.
mean that on occasion there can be some pushback, yes. But
Sure.
usually it's not an issue simply because we did such a good job on the front end. For
Yes, sir.
example, I don't do a lot of the phone calls in our academies anymore because we've got multiple locations. I can't be everywhere at once. So we have instructors that are well trained on how to do this at every location. But on occasion, the phone rings, I'm there and I pick it up because I want my team to see that, hey, I'm willing to do this too, and I will lead by example. And so I answered the phone. It was a dad. He had two kids. We did our thing, had a little moment, and he gave me his credit card to run it for 40 bucks, 20 bucks per child. It was
Okay.
magnificent. It was perfect. But,
Just a matter of asking, then I guess, huh?
well, it's a matter of building rapport,
Building a rapport.
creating value, and then not being afraid to ask to get paid. But let's go
Okay.
back to where we left off now. Let's assume that we did all of that and you're still nervous. They usually won't be aggressive about it, but they can be nervous. And so let's start over. All right, so now we just got to take care of that trial tuition, the 20 bucks. Did you want to do credit or debit? Which is best for you?
Well, I got to talk to my wife about it. Can I just pay you when I come in tomorrow night?
Well, that sounds like it would make sense, but this is a private academy and we don't just let people come in and watch other people's children. I mean, safety is a real concern and we're very protective of our members. However, the good news is it's only 20 bucks and we got to take care of that tuition in order to hold your spot. The ad you saw has been extremely popular and spaces are filling up and I'd hate for you to miss out. It's the only way I can guarantee a place for you. So did you want to do credit or debit? Which is best?
Okay, well, I'll do my debit card, but it's down in my car, so it's going to be a couple minutes.
Oh, no problem. I'll wait.
Okay,
Take your
yeah,
time.
obviously. Okay.
All right, but keep going.
Yeah,
Keep,
perfect.
keep going. Fight some more. Fight some more. Let's keep going.
Well, I'm not a fighter. Well, I'm a fighter, but I
And now
would give my
here's
credit card
here's
money already. But
this is the best part. This is the best part.
okay,
Your persistence will erode their resistance. And I don't have to be aggressive or pushy. I just
okay,
have to be adamant about, well, this is the way we conduct our business. You're not in charge. You don't get to dictate how we will do business, what we will or won't do. But if a person goes, well, let me just check with maybe I'll double check with my wife first. I say, okay, no problem. But again, to secure your spot, we should go ahead and take care of the 20 bucks because A, I mean, it's only $20. And B, it's the only way I can hold this spot for you. Now, if your wife says, oh, no way, no how, well, no problem. Heck, we'll even give you the 20 bucks back. I'm not worried about the $20. I'm worried about securing your spot so you don't lose out. So
okay,
whatever you prefer is better. Credit, debit, makes no difference to me. What would you like to do? And I just kind of
okay.
plop it back in their lap again. Now, if he says, well,
Mhm.
I'm just not comfortable giving it to you over the phone. Well, we got an answer for that. I'd say, okay, well, you know what? We do have a link on our secure website. How about if I send you the link so you can take care of that right now? And that way I can keep you on the calendar. Would that work for you?
Okay,
And sometimes they say yes. If he says, no, 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 I'm not going to do anything until I'll just pay when I get there. What he's trying to do is assert authority over me. And I will never be able to take this person on a journey to black belt if he thinks he's in charge. It has to be an instructor student relationship. So if he says, well, no, I'm not going to do that, I'll just pay you when I get there. Okay, well, then I'll go ahead and take you off the calendar for now. And when you are able to come by and take care of the trial tuition, we can schedule a time
okay,
then. Okay.
okay,
Well, but I want to come tomorrow. Well, then let's take care of the 20 bucks. Well, I don't want to pay over the phone. Well, then I'll take you off. And when you pay, we can put you back on. Maybe that spot will be open, but I doubt it. Again, this trial has been extremely popular and I don't want you to miss out. So let's go ahead and here, I'll send you the link and that'll give you till 6 o'clock tonight to go ahead and get registered. And if you can't do it, hey, no harm, no foul. I won't be mad. But if you can do it, great. I'd love to meet you. So again, I'm not going to be a jerk to the guy, but I am going to make sure that I dictate how we do business. It'd be like
sure.
if we would none of us, I don't think, would ever go into somebody else's business and say, well, you know what? You got to do it my way. Wait, what?
Right.
That makes no sense. But martial arts guys oftentimes are so eager to please everybody in the hopes that they'll pay that you forget you actually run a business and you get to dictate the rules. And the more steadfast you are, be polite, but be steadfast on what are your rules of engagement. And the truth is, we are a private academy. You don't get to dictate what goes on in here. This is my house. No different than I've got several moms that train with me now that are school teachers. And they've seen us sit a kid down. Hey, if you're not going to do your best, go sit down with your mom. Your class is over. And they're like, oh, I wish I could do that. But they're in the public school system. Their hands are tied.
Yeah.
We are not. We are not. You have to decide. And this is why it's so important because you have a parent that thinks they're calling a school, a studio, to put their kid into another activity. I've got to have the right conversation at the front end of that phone call to help them realize, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. And if I really do a good job, they're going to realize, ooh. this instructor could have a real impact on my child's future, maybe mine too. Right? So I've got to take you from the parent calling you for another activity to realizing it could be something more to hopefully getting it to here. And we're going to double down when they come in to make sure it gets to here. And how do we do that? Well, we start the tour by teaching them how to enter the academy. We continue the tour by letting them know that, the way our respectful relationship works is I will call you Mr. and Mrs. Lucas, and students and parents refer to me as Master Peshke. This is the way that we demonstrate our respectful relationship to make sure there's never any confusion for little Timmy here. Okay. And they go, yes, sir. Okay. So now because I can't do that on the phone because they do think they're getting an activity and you're going to push them away. But once they come into the academy, everyone wants to do things the right way. It's my responsibility to educate them on how this whole martial art deal works.
Sure. Yes,
If
sir.
you say, well, I'm not going to pay, no way, no how. Okay, well, hey, it was nice to have met you. I appreciate you taking my call. And we're not going anywhere. So whenever you're ready, please reach back out. Let me know if you'd like to get started. We're here to help. In the meantime, I'm going to wish you the best and I hope you have a great day. I don't want
Okay.
that.
Sounds good.
I do not want that person in my studio. Now, here's the other caveat, and the reason why you have to get good at filtering people is if I'm sitting back waiting for leads to come to me all by themselves, like through Google or in the old days, the yellow pages, right? If I'm waiting for someone to reach out to me and they do, well, that person's already decided they're going to do martial arts, right? However, if you're marketing online, you're throwing out a huge net and you're scooping up all kinds of stuff of people that are possibly mildly curious. So I've got to sort through them to find out who could be a good student family and who is just wasting my time. And I'm going to sort through those people as quickly as I can because I don't want to teach 5 intros a day to people that have zero intention of enrolling. I do not want you to come in here and use a 2-week trial. I want you to come in based on a 2-week trial that you want to now leverage to be a full-on member. And that's what we teach people how to do, how to have the right conversation so the person wants to become a full-fledged member on day one and will actually say thank you for letting them, not chasing them, allowing them. And that's the
Yes.
biggest difference. That's the biggest difference. So yeah, the phone
Okay.
script, if they say, hey, I ain't gonna pay, well, then you can't come in. As a private academy, we guard and protect our students. We take safety seriously. Like we had a guy and he goes, well, can't I just come in there and watch a class? I said, literally what we said. Well, sir, this is a private academy and there's children present. It'd be a little creepy for me to let grown men come in here and sit and watch children, especially other people's children. Don't you agree? I mean, safety is a real concern. I would never let some guy come in and sit there and watch your children. I'm sure you can understand. And then he was like, well, no, I didn't mean it like that. Okay. In other words, let me just sober you up to how this is going to work. Because
Yeah.
if you don't want to follow my rules, if you don't want to be complicit, or what's the word? I'm looking for a response indicator to whether or
Compliant.
not I should invest my time and energy into you. Yeah. If you're not going to be, well, no, complacent. I don't know if that's a word.
Compliant.
Thank you. Yeah. Compliant. If you're not going to be compliant, I don't want you. Imagine it. I mean, I used to, if we go back 25 years ago, I thought my job was to sign up everybody. And as a result, you end up with people that you dread seeing walking in your school every day. I was like, oh, these guys are here again. Oh, this mom's such a pain in the butt all the time. This mom's always right? We don't get that. We don't
Yeah.
have that anymore. Today, we do not have that because we're so good at shaping the membership on the front end. They don't they fall in line or they don't enroll. And to me, either way is okay. Again, my job is to help make your life, your business easy, lucrative, and fun. And so if you're not going to be on board with what it is we do and how we do it, well, go somewhere else. There's plenty of schools around. But if you do it the right way, people will beg might be a little high, but people will beg to enroll with you. I mean, if you frame it right, you're giving people an opportunity to be a part of this membership, to be a part of this community. And if you frame it right, they're like, oh man, we need to be here. Yes, thank you. Versus, oh, I gave you some money. I should be able to tell you what to do. Oh, heck no.
Correct. Yes, sir. Agree. Another question leading into a little bit around the same area, but so they pay for the intro up front.
Yep.
They don't show up. They call you 5 minutes after they're supposed to be there. How do we handle that? Reschedule? Obviously pleasant. Charge them
It
again. Punch them in the face
no,
when
no,
they
no.
come in. What's
We don't
what's the
charge
best
them again.
way?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't charge them again, but we do reschedule it. And even if like
Okay.
we had this happen in Oak Grove yesterday, a family was supposed to be there at 6:30 for the tour and orientation. At 6:35, we followed our protocol. 6:30, 6:20, they weren't there. That's when they're supposed to get there. At 6:30, they still weren't there. And at 6:35, we pick up the phone. And I don't remember what the lady's name was, but I know Mr. Galvin called her and said, "Hey, ma'am, we had you guys on scheduled to have a tour and orientation at 6:30. You confirmed earlier today. Are you okay?" Because we do confirmation calls and texts. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I lost track of time. I'm so sorry. I can be there at 7. We'll leave right now." At which point, Mr. Galvin did exactly what our operating procedure is. He's like, "Well, that'll be too late to do it today. However, I can reschedule you guys to come in maybe tomorrow or Thursday, which is best." "Well, can't we just come right now?" "No, ma'am. We won't be able to do the tour and orientation tonight. However, I can do it Wednesday or Thursday, or I'm sorry, Tuesday or Wednesday, which is better for you? I've got Tuesday at this time or Wednesday at this time." And she's like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess we'll do it." I think she's picked Wednesday. "Great. Okay, well, we'll send you a confirmation and we'll send you the address and all the information again. Just make sure that you're able to get here 5 or 10 minutes before your scheduled time so that we can always make sure we start on time. And there'll probably be another family here with you as well. So we don't want to keep anybody waiting. Okay? Okay. All right. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, don't worry. We'll see you Wednesday." So it's very nice, but you got to be in control and you've got to be in charge. Now, was there anything booked on after that? No. Could he have said, "Yeah, I'll hang out, wait till 7 o'clock"? Yeah. But would it have served him? Heck no. Because now you've established a relationship where mom doesn't have to give a crap. She can do whatever she wants, show up whenever she wants. You're kind of her slave, and you'll do whatever she says. You've taken that relationship and made it worse. Versus, again, I want to make sure that our team, our staff has an easy time signing people up and doesn't have to get beat up, which means I've got to teach them how to be in control and be in charge. And don't be a jerk about it. Just be professional. I'm not going to sit here, because I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, 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 I'll wait. I'll come in at 7. In other words, I'll do whatever it takes. I just need to make a buck." And with that, I'll call it a scarcity mindset. You're always chasing the dollars. They never flow to you. You're always chasing them, and the struggle is real. Versus, teaching people that this is a real deal, and you need to treat it appropriately. So now that's not the first time that's happened. It's happened, it happens every once in a while. But the best part is when she shows up on Wednesday, she'll be there early and she'll understand that this is something to be taken a little more seriously than maybe she first thought. But yeah, in fact we had a
Sounds
mom
good.
show up. We've had people actually show up, like we'll do the call 5 after and they don't answer. And so we start the tour and orientation with whoever is there. And then they show up 15 minutes later. I was like, "Oh, hey, it's nice to meet you. You are?" And they tell you, "Oh my gosh, yeah, we were expecting you 15 minutes ago." "Oh man, well, I'm glad you're okay. But the time slot, we don't have enough time left to do your complete tour and orientation, so we're gonna have to reschedule." "What? But we're here." "I know, but the started 15 minutes ago, and there's no way to get caught up. We won't be able to cover everything. So let's go ahead and find a time." And I don't want to make them feel bad. I certainly don't want to create animosity, but I've got to help them understand how this respectful relationship will work. And for someone to show up 15 minutes late is completely disrespectful. It means they don't give a crap. They think it's just another activity. And if I can't fix that now, you'll never fix it. So what's the point? I've got to get it corrected before we begin. Because, and if everyone's listening, write this down, how they start is how they stay. So if I've got to put all my energy into making sure that this membership, this relationship starts correctly, because if it does not start correctly, it'll be a headache forever. So yeah, well, we can't, and let's say nobody else is in the building. Well, can't we just do it now? No. Can't we just do it now? I'd love to, but we just don't have enough time left in the day for me to be able to complete it because we're getting started too late. So let me help. Let's do this. Let's look at my calendar for tomorrow or Thursday and see which day and time works best so we can make sure we cover everything. Oh, but we're already here and da 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 and traffic and this and that. It wasn't my fault. Hey, it's okay. No worries. I'm not upset. However, I do have to follow our protocol, and that is that we need a certain amount of time in order to cover everything. Otherwise, you're not going to even know what's going on. And I'd hate for that to happen. So let's look at the calendar. You want to do Wednesday or Thursday? Which is best? In other words, look, lady, you're not in charge. And of anything, that might be the single biggest thing that people typically need to embrace at the front end of their training like this is don't be a slave to your students, be a leader. Be a leader, be a strong leader who's in charge. I've said a million times, you're the captain of the ship. You set the course. The ship's leaving port. Get on if you want to go. See you later if you don't. But once you establish and once you embrace that mentality, your life gets significantly better and the money starts showing up. All right. What was your question for Roman, you said?
Oh, well, he sent out a text saying that they were going to cover how I think it
Yeah.
was somebody did like 6 intros and everybody paid up front and all that. So I was expecting to sit back and listen to maybe a little bit of that,
All
hopefully.
right. It's perfect. Good, good, good. Well, Roman, take it away.
Yeah, I'll cover the ad side and I'll hand it off to you for how you collected on all those.
Sounds good.
Perfect. So, I know a bunch of people have their cameras off, but if you could just type yes or a Y in the chat if you guys are running Facebook ads already, that way I can make sure everybody's at least a little bit familiar with the concepts. So far we have 0. So if nobody's running ads, this might not be the best use of time. There we go. Okay, so we have an I have in the
Oh,
past. So we have at least one.
yeah, I have in the past too.
Got
Okay.
it. All right. And I just sent a request to share my
Got it.
screen here.
You're all set.
Awesome. So we have been using video ads instead of the standard static images. If you're familiar with that, if you've run your own ads in the past or hired an agency to do so, which those work okay, they work fine, but over time, Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, always change up kind of what performs the best. And right now, it's video ads. And so what I put together is a little sample pack here of the exact scripts and kind of shots that we filmed in our Sacramento locations that generated what did we say it was, Dad, yesterday? It was like
They sold 6 trials in Carmichael yesterday.
yeah, 6 trials off the back of these in one day. So that's not like for the week. We had a, that means we had a lot more than 6 leads in one day, and we were able to convert those into 6 paid trials just on Monday.
Yep.
Hey,
And so
Roman,
if you
Roman, quick question right here. Hold the
Mhm.
phone vertical this way?
Vertical, yes, yes,
This way.
because
Okay.
if you've been on Facebook or Instagram, you're scrolling vertically, and I'm sure you've seen video ads from other people pop up, and they're always vertical because that's the way you kind of consume content on those platforms, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in here, and if you're a member of Warrior Black Belt, this will be in that group later today. I'll make a post about it and it'll have all of this inside. But this is what's working well right now. We're just holding the phone vertical, standing 6 to 8 feet from the camera inside your academy so they can kind of visually see what's going on right away. Got to speak loud, smile, be enthusiastic so that it's more welcoming. Like nobody wants to come into a martial arts school if you're like have a frown on your face and super serious. You're trying to appeal to the parents with kids or just anyone that's trying to get involved into martial arts. They want to see that it's a good time once they're inside. Good rule
They
of
want,
thumb is to keep the videos less than 30 seconds. So 15 to 30 seen as a good range. Past that, you're going to get a big drop off on people that watch the whole thing, which means they're not going to hear your last little call to action to actually sign up, hit the link. And then at the top, for all those people that have their sound turned off, we have that offer, that 2 week for $20 trial offer with whatever you give away right at
now,
that top. Go
the
ahead.
sound turned off, he's talking about the consumer that is scrolling with their sound turned off.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. Because not everyone has their sound blasted in public. And so we want to make sure that they can read and see and digest what's going on as well. And so here's a couple of the scripts inside. They're super simple, meant to just the thing that makes it convert better is that it's moving, it's dynamic, it's a video. They can see that you're a real person. They can see the academy. And then the words themselves, as long as you call out who you want as a student, they work great. So, as an example, it'd be Carmichael parents, 2 weeks of Taekwondo for $20, kids 5 plus, and we throw in the uniform free. You'll see confidence, focus, and respect in 14 days. We've got 20 uniforms this month. Tap sign up and grab your start date. So, super straightforward. You list a couple of benefits that they can expect to see, and then we add in a little bit of scarcity here just to get them to actually click that link by saying there's a limited amount of whatever you're giving away for free. And then we have a couple more in here that I'm not going to spend too much time on. But at the bottom, you'll see that we have some examples here. So let's see if we can pull one of those up and you can see what it looks like. And make sure I'm sharing my
Yeah, I see
sound.
it. I see it.
All right. So let's go with
Terrence.
this one. This one. Terrence?
Whichever.
Let me go with this one here.
Hey Carmichael parents, too much screen time? Trade it in for confidence in 14 days. Kids 5 and up. Friendly instructors, clear structure. 2 weeks for $20 and a free uniform. Tap sign up. Spots go fast.
So nothing crazy, nothing fancy, but they do outperform just those static images, which is like a graphic.
Right.
So I'll run through
Carmichael
one more,
parents.
and then I'll hand it off to my dad to go over what you do with that new increase of lead flow and actually turn them into paid trials and then eventually students.
Carmichael parents, 2 weeks of Taekwondo for $20, kids 5 and up, and we throw in a uniform for free.
You'll see confidence, focus, and respect in 14 days.
We've got 20 uniforms, so click sign up and grab yours today.
And now, if you're worried about like the edits, the twirls, all that stuff, there's so many good editing apps that you can use right on your phone now that you're about a 5-minute YouTube video away from being able to do any and all of that with just like a pre-built template that are inside those apps for you. So it might look a little bit intimidating, but like it's a 5-minute YouTube video away, and then you're dialed in.
Yeah. In fact, the app those were shot on is called InShot, InShot, and it's super easy. Super easy.
All right, you want to take over what you do after they opt in
Yes.
there?
And again, you guys that are in the black belt training program, all of the step-by-step instructions are in that group and you have access to them for free. There's Loom videos that show you, okay, click here, just say, type this in, do this. I mean, it's
That's
super,
for setting up the Facebook ads themselves.
yeah, super easy. So don't think, oh my gosh, I could never do that. It is so easy, so easy. And we walk you through exactly how to do it for you and your school if you're in the black belt group. Now, once the leads come in, now the work begins. We got to call the leads. And I mean, you can send them automations. There's a lot of marketing agencies out there that are like, oh, we do automate everything and we'll use AI. And they all have the same struggle, and that is the conversion rate sucks. Getting the leads is actually the easy part. Now that I've got leads, how do I get them to see through my eyes? Where again, like we talked about earlier with Tim Lucas here, I don't want them to think, oh, I'm just calling for a little fun activity. I've got to have a quality conversation with them. So it goes from interesting activity, could be fun. Oh, look, it's cute. Maybe I get a free Halloween costume out of it. I want to switch that from that to, oh, this could solve my child's problems. This could be the thing that we need to make a difference in their life and their future. And that comes down to having good communication, following the phone dialogue. Because the phone dialogue in the front end, I've got to be engaging with them. I've got to get into rapport. I've got to find out what it is they're looking for. I've got to widen that gap, make it a bigger deal so that I can now provide a solution. And now collecting the $20, that part's easy because we've had the right conversation to help them realize this could be everything and more. Why wouldn't you spend $20 to find out? Now, after we collect the $20, we're then going to allow them into our Facebook private group so they can scroll around and get social proof and realize that it's safe, it's fun, it's happy, it's clean. And then I'm going to make sure that they know how they will participate on day one. So to wear something loose enough they can move around in. And they'll say, oh, no, it's just for him. Yes, ma'am, I understand completely. But for the first day, the best way to support your child on this new adventure is to go through the tour and the orientation with them. And that's why I want you to wear something loose enough to move around in. Okay. And like, oh, okay. And it's kind of like, Tim Lucas, when you asked me when we did that little role play earlier, and you said, no, 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 I got to talk to my wife. And then I just talked about the reason why we collect the money. And then I asked you again, didn't you feel the urge to just get your credit card out? I mean, people just need to know that it's safe. They need to know the reason why. There was a great book out there years ago, a few years back, written by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. When you tell them the why, it's easier to get them to comply because now they understand. If I just say, hey, give me your credit card number, no way, no way, no thank you, no how. But if I explain to you why this is important and what this is going to do for you, and then ask you for a credit card, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. I'll pay for that. And the truth is, I've only got to demonstrate $21 worth of value to collect $20. Again, if the value exceeds the cost is always a concern until value is understood. The two reasons why they wouldn't give you any money on the phone is either A, they don't trust you, which means I got to get better at my conversation, my dialogue, or they simply don't have the money. And I can't help that. For example, a few Saturdays back, I had a lady, she called in, I was there, I answered the phone. We had an amazing conversation, and then it got to the money. And she's like, oh, I got to pay that right now? I said, yes, ma'am. And she goes, oh, can you give me about an hour? I'm going to have to run to the bank and deposit $20 so that I can give you my debit card number. Now, we can't sign up everybody. And the truth is, if she's got to run to the bank to deposit $20 to pay for this trial, she's disqualified. And I'm not saying that to be mean or judgmental, but the truth is when she comes in, there's no way she's going to be able to afford to sign up on our membership. She's too broke. Now, I realize I can't help everybody, but I don't want to. Well, here's what happened. I said, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me remove all pressure. You know what? This is a membership that if it looks like it's a good fit, we will review the full membership and invite you to enroll. But if now's not the right time to get started, hey, that's okay. You have my number. Call me when you're ready. We'll be here and we will be happy to help. Okay?" And she's like, oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Why was she was super appreciative. Why? Because I just let her off the hook and I didn't make her feel bad. Right? Let them land softly. If it's not going to go anywhere, help them land softly. Because I'll tell you, we've had a couple people in the last few months that have not enrolled and still sent us a referral. Think about that. It's because, I will follow all the steps. We go through all the cascading fallbacks to do our best to help everybody enroll once you're there. But if you can't do it, you can't do it. I can't fix that. Now, I'm not going to, I'm going to go through all the steps. And then at the end, I'm going to help you land softly so that A, you know you're welcome back in the future. And B, heck, you might even give me a referral. Let's find out. So it is about communicating, connecting with your people so that they see value in what you have to offer. Whether or not they can afford it, well, again, that's out of your control. So, yeah, Roman was talking about, our video ads are doing great. Yes, Don Duncan, it will be available. Oh, thank you, Roman. The leads are coming in. Now, every area is a little different. We have one of our private clients, Sifu Clark, who's down in Killeen, Texas. He's getting leads right now for $8, $9, $10. I mean, really, really cheap. Here in Sacramento, our leads are not that cheap. There's a lot more competition on Facebook. Roman, would you say our cost per lead is right now? It's like,
Across the 5 locations, it's between 15 and 22.
okay. And
So
that's
we have like a 15, 17, 18, 20, and a 22.
okay. So let's call it $25 to be conservative. We're going to spend $25 to get each lead. Okay. We're going to spend now Sifu Clark, he has to spend $8 or $10. We got to spend about $25, maybe a little less. So if I can generate, that means if I generate 12 leads, at least half of them will be good. So I got 6 good leads. And that costs me now $50 for the good ones because I had to pay for all of them. Only half of them are good. So I went from getting leads for $25. I know half of them are garbage, the other half are good. So now I've got 6 good leads for $50. And again, this is extremely conservative. Now I've got 6 good leads. I'm going to get on the phone with each one of them. I should be able to convert at a minimum 3 of those, half again. So half, half, half. So now I've got 3 people that are going to come in and they're going to do a tour and an orientation lesson with me. And at least 2 of those 3 will in fact enroll if I do my job right. But the best part is they're going to leave at least $500 on day 1. So if I did 12, let's do the math. And this is why tracking your numbers is so important. And we have a whole report system that helps you with that. But if I spend $25 a lead, I get 12 leads. What's the math on that? $300. And that $300 turns into $1,000 within the next couple of days. Was that a good investment? Absolutely. Typically, we collect $4 for every dollar we spend on Facebook, on Meta, Facebook and Instagram. So if we spend $500, we expect to make $2,000, right? You don't get the leads for free. Facebook Meta is a pay to play. And that's why following the template to do your ads correctly is really important. And we give you that. And that's why doing the follow-up, calling the leads a certain way is really important because you want to get that conversion. Now, some folks' conversion is much better. I'm giving you worst case scenario. We've got guys that are getting an 80% conversion all day. So their numbers are exponentially higher. But worst case scenario, following the procedures, you can expect half, 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 half at a minimum. As you get better at it, you can do better than half. And if you really get it wound tight, you can convert 80%. But I did a call with a gentleman earlier today, and he goes, yeah, our conversion rate is 80% from appointment to a membership. Conversion rate's 80%. I said, that's really good, but I'm curious, are you collecting any money? Well, no, but we put them on a membership. Okay, so no money's being made. Well, they'll start paying in 30 days. What good? Okay, so you're buying students now? You have to be in business to make money. I'm not here to buy students. That costs you money. And more often than not, they never make their first payment. Instead, I want you to have a better system where you can collect $500 or more on their very first visit most of the time. And you'll have cascading fallbacks. If they can't do what you ask, you can help them. But it's so important because especially this guy, and what made it even worse is it was a month-to-month membership. It's shocking to me how many people are still trying to make money doing month-to-month. It does not work. Now, you can collect some money, but your profitability will be horrendous. So collecting money and making money are two very different things. So any of you guys that want some one-on-one help implementing, you see it here in the comments. Colby, good to see you, Colby. If you want some one-on-one help implementing anything we talked about, and you want the step-by-step plays to add an additional $20,000 to your academy, we've got that for you. Book a free call. The link is in the comments here. Click that link, book a free call. Now, if you're already in Warrior Black Belt, yeah, we have a call coming up on the hour and we can help you directly. You don't need to book anything. You're already in. But for you guys that are not in yet, click that link, check it out. And if you have questions or want to find out more information, or you just say, you know what, I'm tired of being broke, I want to make some money, then let's book a call. So, questions. Any other questions, takeaways from today's call?
Yeah, just one more question, if it's
Yeah.
okay, please.
Fire
So
away.
what percentage are you doing Facebook and Instagram? Are you doing both? It just depends on location, test it out yourself, or what are you recommending?
Well,
Yeah, so
go ahead, Roman.
yeah. So the way it works when you're running ads through Meta is now their like AI targeting is so advanced and capable that as long as you leave it alone and just it's called Advantage Plus, as long as you leave those settings on, it will figure out and sort which is more effective for you on its own. So it's a mix of Facebook and Instagram, but that percentage is based on performance, so it always picks the best one for you and your local demographics and your location there. So it's automatic. Just follow the steps in the course and it'll do that part for you, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you do it through the Meta ad platform and it does that part for you.
And
Good
obviously,
question.
if we have trouble with that, just reach out to you, Roman, then.
Yeah, throw a comment in the Warrior Black Belt group and I'll record like my screen, walk you through exactly whatever problems you have, and that way we can get that all sorted for you. Awesome.
Excellent. Good. Colby, did you have any questions?
Yes, actually. Sorry, I had to unmute myself.
Good.
I actually had a question in regards to something that we went over at the business training on the 12th. I
Yeah.
was actually there with Mr. Fred Martens. I wanted to ask you guys about the upgrades because I took a note here about it, and I've just been trying to make sense of it myself. He said that when you guys do upgrades, you would take what would be the amount from the top. So in other words, the person, and then just help me make sense of this in case I took the notes incorrectly as he was saying this. He mentioned that they already have their membership tuition paid for, correct? And the upgrade is now factored in with that, or do they just take off a certain, do you have a discount when they upgrade? If that makes any sense.
Yeah. There's two ways to go about it. My preferred method is I'm going to take whatever monies you've paid so far, plus the discount that we gave you to enroll on day one, and I'm going to apply all of that as a credit towards this higher level membership. Right?
Okay.
So instead of the initial investment, let's say, for example, is normally $1,200, but because you just enrolled a few weeks ago, we're going to apply the $500 you paid a couple weeks ago towards that, which means the balance now is only going to be $700.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
And
whatever they've already paid, not
right.
to interrupt.
So,
Yeah.
and I mean, see, and you can typically we'll let them, and then we also apply however many installments they've made towards the total number of installments. Like if I'm taking you from a basic program, which would maybe be as many as 12 installments max, and I'm going to apply it towards a black belt program, for example, that might have 36 installments. If you enrolled on day one, I'm going to credit you the $500 you've paid. Plus, if you've already made one payment, now there'll only be 35 payments remaining. Or if you've made two, now there'll only be 34 installments remaining. But the upgrade, there's so many things that you can do. Like we just did an upgrade the other day where the family is going to do, they don't need to do 36. On the basic membership, they're only doing 6 installments. So when we upgraded them, we let them know for the black belt membership, there'll be 18 installments. And then for the rest of the membership, there's no tuition due. So they're doing 18 installments for one kid. They're going to do 18 installments of $595 a month. So, there's three ways to make more money. Number one, enroll more people, obviously. Number two, charge more for everything. Most people undervalue what it is that they have to offer, and they simply don't charge enough. And number three, the third way, is to collect the money that is promised more quickly. So we teach
Sure.
how to do that with everything. For example, we have an in-school tournament coming up Friday night. And so we're collecting tournament applications. Every tournament application, we let them know. Now, there is a way to save. When you prepay 5 tournaments, you get 2 more for free. Would you like to get the tournament pass? And we sell tournament passes. If they say no, no big deal. I don't care. But as there's no pressure, I know that our job is to simply make an offer to help them save money. Rank certifications, we charge $75. Thursday, I had Mama, white belt mom. They just signed up a month or 2 months ago, maybe. And her 3 boys are all on the mat taking class. I said, okay, just got your second stripe. It's time to take care of that rank certification we talked about when you enrolled. They're $75 each. Did you want to use a card on file or a different one? Well, it's the total. It's going to be $300. However, we do always try to help families save money whenever we can. May I explain how that would work? Well, yes, please. Tell me more. Tell me more. Well, Mrs. Costa, you see, by prepaying the belts on your green belt program, there's 5, then we can extend you a 20% savings, and their belts will always be here when they're ready to earn it. Can I save you that $300? It's like getting one for free. And she's like, yeah, I'll tell you what, use this credit card. And she paid $1,200 for rank certification. Now, why does that fit the criteria? It's good for her. She saved $300. It's good for the academy because the academy just generated $1,200. And it's good for the instructor because the instructors keep track of the money they've collected by helping families save money, because they know that their bonus and commission is based on what they're able to generate for the school. The more money I can generate for my academy, the more students I keep longer. Because every time a person gives you money, they're recommitting to their membership. And my goal is to get people to commit to 2nd, 3rd, 4th degree black belt. So if I can help you save money,
Sure.
making a bigger commitment, yeah, count me in. I'm in. Make sense?
Okay. Yes, sir, it does. It does. And you also mentioned something that I'm going to start trying to implement right today, as a matter of fact, and that is collecting your graduation fees in addition to the membership when you sign someone up. I never thought about doing that before, you know. So I'm going to definitely be trying to implement that. I got my notes down here. That's what I keep looking down at.
Good.
So
Good.
I appreciate you giving me that clarification as far as the upgrade was concerned. Definitely, we're just gonna kind of give them that discount or take it away from what they've already done or what they've already paid for when we go to upgrade them. Okay. Thank you
Okay.
very much for that, sir. I appreciate it.
Well, I tell you, and we get the reason for this particular call is to connect with people that are interested in growing their business and making more money. And, there's 3 points on that triangle. We've talked about this a million times. The top part is your martial art, and whatever you do on the mat, you do. We assume you're good at it. However, to grow a business that is highly profitable, delivering your martial art, well, that requires the other 2 points of that triangle. One being your operations and procedures. How do you do everything? Is it simplified? Does every parent at your academy clearly see your vision for their student, and does it make sense to them? Do they understand the path to get to black belt? And then you have your third point, which is your marketing and sales, which are 2 very different components. The marketing is everything you do to make sure people know who you are and what you're all about. And the sales is the conversation you have so a person readily buys into what you see for their future, so they can look through your eyeballs and go, oh my gosh, I want that. I need that in my life. Because cost, whatever you charge, it does not matter. Cost is always going to be a concern until value is understood. And you can charge a little bit of money and stay broke, or you can charge a premium and get wealthy if you know how to handle your money. The difference is your ability to convey value to your prospect, because people aren't going to give you a lot of money just because you say, give me a lot of money. They've got to see what's in it for them, and do they believe it will impact their future? You know, if the answer is yes, they will invest with you and they'll say thank you, and they'll take it more seriously. And we all know the more seriously they take it, the more they get out of it. So yeah, I want you to take it seriously. I cannot allow you to view this as just another activity. It's got to be more. And that's what we teach everyone how to do. So yeah, if you guys are not in the Warrior Black Belt group, look in the chat right now, click the link, and that way you'll have it before we end this call. You can go through there and check out all there's videos and information in there. You can take your time and digest it. And when you're ready, you book that call. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up for today. I appreciate you guys being on the call. Great questions. If you guys are in the Warrior Black Belt group, 10 a.m., 10 a.m. my time, 6 minutes from now, we'll be kicking off the next call, and I'll see you back on it. In the meantime, everybody have an amazing day. Thank you.